guys, hey, welcome to Fucking Phenomenal with Ashley Victoria. I am hanging out with the Amazon herself, Miss Chloe Hilliard.
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
I am great. I'm here in Charlotte. Where are you at?
I am in Brooklyn, New York City, where my neighbors are blasting their music because it's Memorial Day. And social quarantine doesn't mean play your music quietly. It means blast it for everybody to know that you're at home.
I'm just happy I don't have to wear a mask right now to have a conversation with somebody.
Oh, I know. It definitely changes things. Like if I'm outside and I see somebody, I think we all understand that we're just not going to have a conversation.
Chloe, I want you, those who have maybe not have seen any of your stand-up or not following quite yet or haven't purchased their book, brag about you for a minute.
Yeah, I am a New York born and raised stand-up comedian. Before that, I was a journalist for over 10 years, and I just recently released my debut book, F Your Diet, which is right there behind me. The bookstore version actually has C and K, but for TV, you can't show that, so that was censored for a television thing I did, and I just keep it up in my house because it helps me out. I find myself just kind of talking about things that are my personal experiences. I'm a single Black woman, no children, and I think there are a lot of us out there. And so my perspective on dating and politics and life and family is really relatable to a good number of people, men and women.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your book. I know it's definitely been not the easiest thing to write and go through all the edits and rewrite and go through all the edits. So I'm happy for you on that. Was that bra edible? Like those edible panties?
Yeah, it is legit popcorn. It's not edible because it was hot glued. So what I did was I bought two bras. I bought two bras from Walmart, and the creative producer, he made a wig for me, and so he hadn't measured my head. He just I gave him my measurements, and he crafted this base, and he just started just hot gluing kernels of popcorn until it got massive. Same thing with the popcorn bra. It's like a real bra, and on top of it is popcorn. And then also on the back, I had licorice, and so it's the same thing. It's like a real bra with just licorice and peppermint candy on the back. So everybody's like, "Did you keep it?" I'm like, "Hell no, I didn't keep it. I live in New York City. Like, I would have Mickey Mouse and all of his friends in my damn apartment if I kept a popcorn bra. No thanks."
Awesome. Well, congrats on that. So I got some questions for you, and I'm interested on how this whole BDE, this big dick energy, happened, because I know for the past decade, and you've been a journalist for the Essence, for the Source magazine. You got your national debut for the Last Comic Standing. So how did this happen?
So I've been doing stand-up comedy. This is my 10th year, and I realized that, like everybody else, I was like, I want 2020 to be a banner year for me. 2020 vision, everything everybody was saying. And I knew my book was coming out in January, and because I am a journalist at heart in marketing, I consider myself somewhat like a marketing, not genius, but like marketing savvy. I figured with all of the press that I will be doing for my book, it will be a good time to also do my album, because it will be a 1-2 punch. So when I'm having all these conversations about my book, I could say, oh, if you have any question about me being a tried and true stand-up comedian, I also have a comedy album out. Like, I would just throw it out and by the way. And so
I saw that post. I was like, hey, better come out tonight.
Yeah.
First album, I was like, shit, I'm in North Carolina.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful that I did it, because, look at everything now. And I was able to get my album out there. I'm very proud of it. I self-produced it. I was able to record it at the Comedy Cellar, which is kind of like my comedy home here in New York City. And they were very gracious and helped me above any expectation I had. So I was able to get my best jokes and things that I really wanted to kind of, archive. And I recorded it in October of last year. And then I scheduled it to come out around the time of my book. So I was able to give people a point of reference. And so it was really important to me because a lot of times we hear people say, oh, I'm a comedian. And it's just like, but are you a stand-up? You know, and I think just because you're funny on social media or you can make some funny videos, it's a different skill set when you stand up on a stage for an hour and tell jokes that are funny all the way through. And so I just wanted to kind of reassure people that when it says written by comedian, that they know I'm a real comedian. So that was nice.
Well, what inspired you? Like, I know, like my mother is my biggest inspiration. You know, she's always just telling me, just like Nike, just do it. You know, go after it. Is there someone in your life or an event that has inspired you?
Yeah, I would say the conversations that I had growing up as a child with my mom has kind of instilled in me to just really believe in myself. I talk about it a lot in my book. I was very, very bullied as a kid, you know, no friends, ostracized. I was a social misfit, outcast, all of that stuff, because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but I grew up in the Hasidic Jewish part of Brooklyn. So that was a whole nother culture shock when I went to school with all Black kids and I just didn't know the slang. I didn't know the clothes. I didn't have the hair. So I was always an outsider. And I think I've just always managed to take that energy and make it work for my benefit. And so when you talk about like big dick energy, a part of that is like, when you talk about just the idea of it as a philosophy, it's just understanding that you don't have to really conform or fit in, and it's okay to stand out and be different and not have to cater to other people's expectations. It's just a level of confidence, I think.
I like that. I can actually I can relate to that a lot. You know, being a multiracial, you know, child, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, when my family and I moved up to the country, I swear to God, I don't think anybody has ever seen at that time, you know, a blue-eyed multiracial girl, not understanding who's Black, who's white, who's what, and then going to a school that was just cowboys and Indians. So I came home crying a lot. I got called every name in the book. You know, I was talking about like, you know, gray, zebra. I had an afro puff and my hair was just so frizzy. I had to straighten it today. But
actually, yeah, I finally broke down. I broke down and washed my hair. Thank you. And I had to trim my own ends. Like when you got to trim your own ends, you know, you really fit in the house.
I need to get these brows done, but but I would come home crying so much after school. My mom, you know, she would always just say, "Honey, they're just jealous," you know, like just knock it off, move on, you know. So that I can. Having a culture shock, and I was 5'10", and when I was in 5th grade, so I was the, you know, tallest girl in my class. I definitely know you can still relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, I wear glasses. You can probably see the medication through the lens right now. I'm so blind. I'm literally like, I'm like -11. Like it's pretty.
It's so funny. I wanted glasses so bad as a kid. Like all the things that I told you about myself as a child. And on top of that, I actually wanted glasses. So
you can get the non-prescription ones now. They're in style. And then last but not least, I wear hearing aids. Like, so back in the day, again, kids in the early 90s didn't have hearing aids, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm like that close to being Helen Keller. If I was only mute, my mother would have been like, "Oh shit!" But so yeah, so having that culture shock and finding that it's okay to be you and stop looking for the acceptance from other people. I think I'm happy that you can share that and that you can help other women, because I know you and I are not alone in that for sure.
Absolutely.
So what were some setbacks that you've had on this journey? Was it more on a personal side? You know, like I know my uncle, he's a stand-up comedian as well, and he doesn't feel that his material is funny enough, which has set him back from actually pursuing to do more. Or was it more of a I don't think a career shift or change, but more on the industrial side of things?
Yeah, I would say I probably just realized the setback recently since I've been in quarantine and I've been doing comedy now for this was my 10th year. I would say that too, I had too much of a laser focus. And so coming from journalism and being a journalist for over 10 years and then switching to comedy, when I finally gave myself permission to go after this new dream, because it wasn't something that was always there. It was just like, oh, I tried it, I got into stand-up comedy because I wanted to do broadcast journalism. And so I took a class so I can learn how to talk in front of the camera and be engaging and ask questions, be funny and witty and all that stuff. And so when the bug bit me, and I realized that I really did enjoy stand-up comedy, my mission at that point was to say, I want to be good at stand-up comedy. And I took that very literally. And so my focus over the past 10 years was get on stage, perform, write, rinse and repeat, travel, do colleges, perform at comedy clubs, but everything was, what am I doing on the stage? And now we're in a situation where we aren't able to get on stage. And even if they were to start opening up places, I wouldn't feel comfortable going back on stage right now for a while. And I think I've been grateful in the sense that I have a writing background. So I'm able to write books or, consult on things and write on things. But I do believe that I was so adamant about becoming good at stand-up that I could probably I surely could have done other things in addition to stand-up, with all within the comedy and entertainment business. But I was just kind of like, I need to check this thing off, and get good and then figure out. And it was like, I could have done multiple things at the same time. I mean, I'm not at a loss, but it's just like, now I have to put on a new hat, like now I know I'm good at writing. I know I'm good at stand up. Now it's time to find the new thing.
Absolutely. And, we all have more than one talent, and sometimes it does take isolation, or it does take certain things to really, not only discover it, but really like see it play out. I'm happy that you actually have that discipline too, which I know probably did not happen overnight either, to coach yourself in the step that you have to take. So
absolutely.
That's still hard. That's still hard for me sometimes.
Yeah, because I think the reason why I was so adamant about becoming good just at stand up, and when I say other things, it's not like I'm not about to like go to culinary school and like learn how to cook, but within entertainment, especially when it comes to stand-up comedy, it's like knowing how to write for daytime TV, nighttime TV, knowing how to write for reality scripted, knowing how to write for network versus cable, knowing how to write a feature film, knowing how to write do a pitch presentation, like all these other things that are attached to presenting yourself as a brand, as an entertainer, as a voice, as a face, as all these things. And so for me, it was because I was so hesitant to go after the dream, because it was like, I already have a career and this seems like I'm joining a circus compared to what I was doing. And so I needed to be good at it to kind of put myself at ease, so it didn't seem like a fly by night type of thing. And then I could kind of, also for people who'd be like, why are you doing it? So I just needed to prove to myself that I could be good at this one thing. And I gave it 100% of my attention, 150% of my attention. And so now I'm like kind of on cruise control. It's like, okay, so now what else can I add to this toolkit that I've been, building?
That's good. I see that. I mean, I do see that you're staying busy. I think you did it recently. Who was it that you, Erica Badu and
yes, the afterglow.
Yes. I saw it, and before I connected two and two together, I was following a feed on Twitter, but it wasn't you, and it said that it blew up, like the whole battle, the Instagram, like it was. I was like, wait a minute, and I was going through my own Instagram. I'm like, Chloe just posted something about this. Yeah. But I'm happy that you're staying busy, and that you were, getting your hands wet and other things. And I think that's what we have to do.
Listen, everybody, and I don't want anybody listening or watching this thinking that it is so specific to just entertainment. because we see now that you need to diversify yourself to be able to do multiple things. So, the same way that we look at our parents and say, how can you work at that one job for 40 years? People younger than us could be like, how could you only learn this one thing over 4 years? Like, I've learned 7 things during, so it's just like not short-changing yourself, because things change so rapidly, and so even everybody's doing Zoom meetings now and using this to create shows. Like, yeah, just keep finding innovation while you're at home, and nothing can really stop you. And also look for like online classes. I tell people, like, if there's something that you really want to do, now is the time to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, figure out what your passion is, see how that fuels you, and then the money will come. And I hate when people be like, well, I'm not gonna make no money. It's like, yeah, but it's your dream, it's your passion. Like, nobody should pay you for your passion.
Yes, and I was just talking to a singer-songwriter. Her name is Tina Tara, and we're talking about passion. And I was telling her that it's always going to be your passion that drives the right people into your life. And that
absolutely,
that's very true. So to wrap this bad boy up with this bad girl, what advice can you give to women who are looking to work on that passion, to bring it out of them? What can you give the other women out there, Chloe?
I would say, it's so funny because, like, I'm 39, and I feel like recently when I've been asked these questions,
39,
I feel like now I can answer them with like true conviction and real life experience. Because you know how you answer things and you're like, this sounds good, but like now I'm like, if I had to do it all over again, what would I legit do? And I would tell young women or women of any age who are trying to go into something different, number one, give yourself permission, right? Because if you are
I gotta write this down. Give yourself permission.
Give yourself permission, because if you go into a situation, right, unsure, lacking confidence, or second guessing yourself, you're not going to be fully committed to that thing. And then what happens is, a lot of times when you don't give yourself permission, you are okay with failing, because then you can brush it off and be like, I didn't really want to do it anyway. But you did want to do it. You just didn't have the confidence. So once you give yourself permission to do whatever it is, then you can move forward with no guilt, with no apprehension, with no self-doubt. And you're going to say, I'm going to commit to this thing. I think that's like the first step, is just acknowledging that this is weird, this is strange, I'm uncomfortable, I'm anxious. I'm working on a new project now. And I told like my partners, I was like, I am filled with anxiety because I have no idea, this is all new to me. But like, saying that doesn't mean that you stop. Saying that is, let's acknowledge what this feeling is, and work past it. And sometimes it's good to say it out loud to other people, because they can help reassure you, or they can help you kind of like troubleshoot what your feelings are, or, what your concerns are. So that's one. So give yourself permission. Number two, and which ties into number one, which is find a network, find like-minded people who can help assist you on your journey, even if they aren't doing the exact same thing, but they can help, motivate you, uplift you, all those things that I said. And I would say number three, don't explain yourself. So if you tell somebody what your goal is, what your passion is, and they're like, well, why? Then be like, no, don't worry about it. You'll see. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Like, I shouldn't have to explain why I'm doing something with my own life. So I would think those are my three main things. Give yourself permission, find a network, and don't explain yourself.
I like that a lot. And us women have a hard time sometimes getting out of that comfort zone. We want to stay so attached to those toxic friends in our family. So I really like that. I'm a professor. Thank you for that lesson today, for sure. But this has been wonderful. I'm super excited, for your future. I know before the year is over, you will be back on that stage. Okay. You know, so think positive, positive thoughts, positive results.
There you go.
I'm happy for the book. And the album is already out, right?
Yes, the album is out. Yes, Big Dick Energy, and fuck your diet.
Yes. So we are, if it's okay with you, we are going to be doing I'm going to do a giveaway. So I'm going to get a couple of the books and do a giveaway for somebody. Just, you know, again, laughter, the best medicine.
Yes.
And I really think you can definitely help those, especially during this time. This kind of, you know, let it out, and then just know that everything is going to be okay.
There it is. There you go.
Awesome.